available to spell out the syntax of a language. When we talk about semantics, it explains what does this form mean. Ambiguity plays a major role, forcing the programmer to resort trial and error in this too. Dangling else statement can be given as an example for ambiguity. We take B1 and B2 as Boolean expressions and S1 and S2 as statements. In this small program, else part can be expressed in two ways, which is going with first if statement and going with the second if statement. The compiler can be interpreted this program by two ways, causing the ambiguity. Braces can be used to eliminate the problem, but the programmers usually do not follow this method. We shall look how programming languages solve these problems. Algol handles this problem, forbidding then part of an if form being another if. The programmer is forced to use begin-end structure. Fortran 77, Ada and Modula 2 uses explicit end if statement to terminate an if-then else condition. Matching else part with the nearest if statement is done by modern languages like Java. When two compilers interpret the program two ways because of the ambiguity, in case of the program is ported from one compiler to another, it will not run correctly. Syntactic ambiguity will not give the programmer any indication of a problem. If Boolean comparison is given, it is important to the compiler whether to do the second comparison to be done if first comparison fails, as in this example. Java solves this problem by saying the second comparison is never done if first one fails. Ada is doing both the comparisons. It provides a different construct for use when one wants to not avoid doing the second comparison. Some other languages leave the problem unresolved, and different compilers may provide different outcomes. The next criteria is consistency with commonly used notation. In other terms, expressivity. The below mentioned mathematical expressions can be given as examples of the normal practice. Most of the languages adhere to this convention, where Lisp and Forth do not. This makes the program harder to read than write. Operator precedence plays a key role of expressivity. Some programming languages like APL have their operator precedence with a larger deviation from the normal practice. It causes readability, writability issues. Equality notation is also used in different forms in Algol, Pascal and Fortran, causing the same issue. Next criteria is having good facilities for input and output. It is a harder part in language design to develop input-output structures because of different types of behavior of different hardware devices. Fortran and COBOL includes read and write statements, where C, Java uses library procedures in input-output operations. When we are talking about formatting the output, COBOL and Fortran is stronger and Java is weaker. Orthogonality is the feature to produce variety of results combining limited number of features. Algol was developed having the goal of orthogonality. As an counterexamples, in Pascal, a variable can be declared be of any type. Another example is a function can take parameters of any types and cannot return values of a certain types. Next major criterion type is criteria related to the software engineering. Correct software is the ultimate expectation from a programming language. To achieve this, we have many number of criteria. First criteria is the reliability. It is defined as to provide the expected output of a program at any given condition. As an example, explicit variable declaration of Fortran can be given. If a variable is not declared, the compiler should catch it, but the Fortran compiler usually unable to catch these type of errors. Larger software projects are constructed with modules, each of which interfaces with the rest of the system is in certain well-defined ways. Subroutines is found in Fortran and COBOL, and Algol and Pascal has block structures. Modular 2 and Ada provides more sophisticated features. In object orientation, modularity inherent in the class is a great feature. Data types and data structures. Fortran has weak data types. It has only arrays. It does not have records or pointer variables, where many programming languages have these facilities. Java is very strong in data types and data structures. C++ and Ada provide the facility to user-defined data types. Next major criteria is criteria related to performance of a program. A language should do its designated task quickly. It means fast compilation. Program code length is a key role in the performance. It takes longer time to compile long program codes. If separate compilation facilities available in large software, it is very handy because only small place of the program get effects in a change. Performance is supported with efficient object code. Even it is harder in the development time, it directly affects the performance of the compilation. Now we shall select what are the best programming languages to develop a particular program by comparison. For that, we take 5 programming languages and evaluate their abilities in default secure programming practices, web application development, functional programming, and object orientation. Firstly, we take Java language. Java has no pointers in memory management and stronger checking for problems and later dynamic checking. It eliminates possible error occurrence of memory management. In C++, we have buffer overflows, dangling pointers as memory management problems. PHP has many vulnerabilities exploited remotely. They allow to steal of databases, spam attacks, and malware. Scheme has less real memory issues. Perl has dynamic allocation and it has no memory management issues. We will see how programming languages are good in web application development. Java is very strong in client-side, server-side program development. Java web applications can be run anywhere, only we need is a Java virtual machine. C++ also have good features in web development. CGI integration allowed users to improve performance of web services. PHP is best for server-side web development. It can be deployed. Most web servers and most operating systems are supported. Also, many database management systems and most of the web servers are supported. Scheme can be used to develop applets. Scheme web applications are posted on PLT Scheme web servers. Perl was developed in the goal of web development. Modperl Apache plugin allowed for tight web application integration with web servers. We shall now consider the strength of programming languages in functional programming. Libraries like functional J in Java make the user to easily use the functional programming constructs. C++ do not directly support functional programming, but in FC++ library allows to adapt C++ to functional languages. PHP provides limited access to functional programming. Fn.php is an example of deploying PHP as a functional language. When talking about scheme, it is a pure functional language. Perl supports list manipulation functions. When talking about object orientation, Java has the lead. Objects in Java offer several benefits such as modularity, information hiding, and reusability. When we are talking about C++, also supports object orientation with classes, instances, and methods. With the launch of PHP 5, performance of PHP as an object-oriented language was increased. Scheme has little features of object orientation, but simple primitive types allows to create object system with addition to the language. Perl supports object orientation by allowing a hash reference to have methods and attributes, but it is weaker in encapsulation and abstraction. I hope my presentation was helpful to select a programming language that has the highest strengths to develop a particular program, and thank you for viewing my presentation.